In the 1970s, PSAs leaned on fear. These ads painted drug use as a personal failure, often focusing on bleak outcomes. Their approach was simple: scared people enough and they'll stay away. But did it work? Critics argue that fear alone wasn't enough to address deeper societal issues driving drug use. Let's take a look at one of the most famous 1970 anti-drug PSAs.
Okay, everyone knows shooting speed is deadly. But some people take speed pills in excess or sniff meth crystals just for kicks. Even on Dexies and up pills, you can lose your looks, personality, health, get jittery, used up, lose your mind, even your life, fast. Needle or pills. Drugs like speed are nothing to play around with. Speed plays rough.
With the 70s coming to an end, let's now take a look at the 1980s anti-drug PSAs.
My name's Davey, and I want to tell you about my friend, Glitch. He's done some pretty dopey things, like rollerblading down a roller coaster. He even thought he could be a pro wrestler. Then he thought he could fly. And once, some kids tried to get him to do drugs.
Beat it! I've done some dopey things, but I'll never do dope.
Drug-free's the way to be.
The 1980s ushered in the Just Say No campaign, spearheaded by First Lady Nancy Reagan. The messaging was clear and concise: drugs are bad, and saying no is the solution. The visuals become brighter, the message is more direct, ads targeted families and school children using catchy slogans and memorable metaphors. But critics noted that these PSAs oversimplified addiction, ignoring the social and economic conditions that fueled drug epidemics.
Everyone seems to be having one dandy old time. Hey, it's part of growing up. Or is it? Just think about this. Before you go and do something you've never done before, you just better know what you're jumping into.
We also saw a spike in celebrities being on anti-drug PSAs. Here are a few examples.
I'm so hot. I'm so cool. I'm so where it's at. I'm it. I'm a genius. Yeah, crack will make you feel like that.
A lot of drug abuse messages are full of statistics. How many people die, how many lives are ruined, how much drug use is costing the economy. But this message isn't about numbers. It's about crack.
This is a vial of crack, rock cocaine. As you may have noticed, it doesn't come with a warning label. If it did, it might tell you that smoking crack affects the brain, the nervous system, the lungs, and the heart. It would also say that crack can kill you.
There are many more celebrities that took a stand against drugs. Now, let's move into the 1990s. By the 1990s, PSAs shifted towards relatability. Advertisers realized that talking with teens rather than lecturing at them could be more effective. The tone became conversational, and ads explored peer pressure and the consequences of choices. These ads often included testimonials and storylines to humanize the impact of drug abuse, creating an emotional connection with the audience. Let's watch an anti-drug PSA from the 90s.
Remember, when you're vomiting, to kneel. Because if you stand up, you could pass out and bash your head. And always hold on to the sides. Or, if you prefer, the head lean. It's harder to miss that way. Just a few tips for those of you who are going to do heroin. because you're going to spend a lot of time here.
With the 90s ending, entering the 2000s, anti-drug messaging returned to shock tactics, but with a modern twist. Graphic depictions of overdoses and the toll on families became common, reflecting growing concerns about opioids and methamphetamine. The emphasis was on consequences, not just for users, but everyone around them. The ads were harder hitting, but some questioned if they risked alienating audiences through sensationalism.
Hey, if your parents get divorced, who gets the fish? Dude, your sister's hot.
That's not cool. Hey, man. Check this out.
Cool. Is it loaded?
Nah.
Leaving the 2000s behind. Today, PSAs are more nuanced. They acknowledge addiction as a complex public health issue rather than a moral failing. Messaging often focuses on harm reduction, support systems, and the importance of mental health. Rather than stigmatizing drug users, modern PSAs emphasize empathy and empowerment, reflecting a cultural shift towards understanding addiction as a disease. From fear to empathy, anti-drug PSAs have mirrored society's evolving views on addiction. As we look to the future, the question remains, what messages will resonate most with the next generation, and how can we continue to adapt?